love Steuben County.
Steuben County truly is a magical place.
It's not about, necessarily the place or the buildings. It's about the people.
It's more about our community as a whole. Like, we're one big family here.
The hearts of this community is over in abundance.
I couldn't be more proud to be part of Steuben County.
We're a community that helps its own.
We go above and beyond. It's not just Monday through Friday, 8 to 4.
It's just crazy that if there's a need, there's an answer here in Steuben County.
I don't know how many years I have left to give, but I plan to give them with all my heart.
I think that's why we're all put here, to help other people.
There's a lot of different things that makes a community a great place to live. It really comes down to the characteristics and attributes of a community that makes it so special. And really that boils down to the people in the community that are committed to really putting all of their time, energy, resources, sometimes financial resources, into ensuring that all of those factors are in place to make it a wholesome, vibrant place to live, work, and play.
I think wealth should be measured in friendships, and that's what I love most about Steuben County. Steuben County is a little community with big dreams and wonderful people.
Anything that the Community Foundation has done in the past year and ultimately the past 30 years, it's only because of donors trusting and giving to the foundation. Let me be the one to say on behalf of thousands, thank you for making the Community Foundation what it is today and tomorrow. The work that we do is for the benefit of our nonprofit community, and we would have nothing to connect our donors to without the beautiful array of nonprofit organizations that do their hard work each and every day. Our nonprofit leaders and volunteers are the ones on the front line doing the hard work, meeting the needs, meeting the people that have needs day to day, face to face. And at the Community Foundation, we say thank you. Thank you for giving us a place to connect our donors, and thank you for taking care of our community.
If the nonprofit organizations in our area did not exist, we would truly lose the heartbeat of our community. Nonprofit organizations in Steuben County are so critical to making sure that quality of life and quality of place are here. We are so blessed that we have such a wide-ranging group of organizations that help service our community, from social services to education to recreation. All of our nonprofits in Steuben County are almost like puzzle pieces, and when they all are put together, it's a big picture. Everyone plays a role. It's our common thread of being passionate about our community that helps us thrive. I think it's so important for leaders to engage with members of our community so that they can truly understand the day in and day out of their lives and understand the needs and their visions for their community.
When we talk about some of the things that make Steuben County what it is, Potawatomi Inn, the Toboggan, 101 Lakes, It's always been about a sense of collaboration, a sense of welcoming.
When we develop programs, when we design projects, when we promote events, I want those to be authentic. I want those experiences to be authentic. I want our solutions to be sensitive to the needs and wants of the people who live here and work here.
We build relationships with them, and we can meet those needs in our community by listening and hearing what you are telling us.
And I think that's kind of the beauty of a lot of the people around here. We ask the questions and we try to do impossible things that everybody says, oh, you can't do that. Watch me. I'm a math professor. I mean, when I started teaching at the university, I just took this on. I think the thing that drives me is just serving people. It's so funny. So many people will ask me, you know, how do you keep up with all of the work? Like, to be able to walk in and my clients, you know me by name, I know them by name, and I get to catch up and find out about how their grandkids are doing or anything like that. And when they're leaving, I know they're cared for. I know they're taken care of. And that's such a beautiful thing. It's so much more of a blessing to me than it is to my clients. Just to be there for them is amazing. I think the thing I love most about Steuben County is the way that we work together. Just it doesn't matter what kind of project we have going on. A friend of mine from another nonprofit called me up and said, hey, I'm going to come over to your food pantry and volunteer today. She's an executive director of her own nonprofit, but she was at mine volunteering. And we all just come together and make it happen. We're all like-minded, that we just want to serve people and just take care of the people around here. The key when it comes to loving people is to value them for who they are, really seeing someone. A perfect example at the food pantry, I had a man that I had met one time. He had come in and I asked him for his address, and he paused and he was a little upset, and I said, it's okay. Like, don't worry about it. I'm not going to turn you away. And he said, well, I don't have a home right now. And it was pretty sad. So, but we found him food, and we tried to find him some resources, gave him a connection to a job, hoping that he'd be able to get the job. He was on his way, and had to get himself out of that, but we tried to provide him with some resources. The key to this, though, is like 3 months later, he comes back. And I said, hey, Joe, how are you doing? Because I recognized him. And he goes, you remember me? And it was so sad that he's sitting here thinking he's not valuable enough for me to know or remember. Just because I met him once doesn't make him not valuable. He's valuable. And so that's always been a big part of who we are, is to see people and recognize them as our equals, as our friends and neighbors, that they are valuable.
The importance to adapting to challenges is not seeing them really as challenges, but opportunities. And that we are so resourceful in this community. And as if we are truly collaborative, and which we are in nature here, working as a team to meet those opportunities and not only just survive, but thrive.
There is nothing better than to watch a person do something that they didn't think was possible.
We're always encouraging people who are really going through some rough times that there is hope and there is, opportunity for them.
People that care about other people, that's what you're after, and that see success and then want to do more.
This is what I want to do. I want to help. It was women like who stood before me and showed me that there was love and there was a way out of this, and that I was designed for something better than the way I was living at that time.
I would say I have two passions in my life. One is working with children, and the other is working with the animals, and they're probably very similar in that they don't have a voice for themselves. So being able to advocate for dogs and cats that can't do it on their own is what makes working for the shelter and my peers on the shelter board and the staff at the shelter so rewarding. There's nothing like the love of an animal. More than ever, our pets are our family members. The first pet that I had, and I was just a real tiny little girl, was a dog that my dad had rescued from a park. He was coming home in the rain, was driving past the park, and he saw this dog sitting in a puddle in the park, and he stopped and brought her home, and we ended up keeping her. And ever since I have been an adult, it's all been I've adopted dogs. So whether they were stray animals that walked into our backyard or visiting the shelter and making a connection with an animal there. When we get in a really sick animal, other people might be ready to give up on that animal. Our staff and our board, they aren't ready. We're always willing to do what's in the best interest of that animal. When we're able to network and find homes for those animals, that's just very rewarding. And then the best reward of all is when we get the pictures and the stories of how animal has adapted to their new home. We had a sick family of cats come into the shelter. We didn't know how sick they were at the time, but eventually we found out it was panleukopenia, which is a highly contagious and very serious disease in cats. We had to shut down the shelter. We didn't let anybody in. We could still adopt dogs, but no cats could leave our shelter. The All Paws and Claws and Dr. Kelly Lutman, they came over. They helped us strengthen our vaccination procedures for our cats. Their techs came over to help out, so they all volunteered their time, came over, and we did mass vaccination to make sure everybody was covered. Our staff was working overtime. Board members were coming in and cleaning, so there wasn't any job that was too beneath anybody. Like, we were emptying litter pans daily and our hands were in bleach. And then when we let the community know, because we wanted to be very transparent about what was happening, and the donations came in, we needed bleach, we needed paper towel, we needed blankets, because those things we were using one time and throwing away just to be extra cautious. Having to be closed and our adoptions went way down, but having the community really reach out and support us was just amazing. Gosh, that whole fall was so overwhelming. I felt like, especially the first several weeks of it, all I did was cry because it was just so stressful. But when we were able to have the board meeting and we announced that all animals had been given the all clear, that felt great. Then you could say, all right, we're good and we're ready to open up doors again. It does take us staff to be resilient and willing to come in every day, not exactly sure what the day might hold. We have a resilient community and we've faced some challenges, and we come together as a group to solve those challenges.
I visit with a lot of people to get a vision on what they want the community to be. When I get to visit with these people, they all have the same vision. It takes that group of people to work together in conjunction to move things forward.
Now that I have a daughter, I hope that she's able to access these natural places with her future family and, you know, the generations that come after her. It's important for long-term vision and planning to think about the kids of the future, many generations to come.
The youth is our future. These are the people that are going to be the politicians, they're going to be the people running communities, the people running businesses.
We're all rowing in the same direction. We're all trying to provide a better community, not only for tomorrow, but for the next generation.
I hope that we inspire the next generation to take ownership. I hope we show them how to lead, and I hope we show them how to love. And I want to see the next generation. I want to see them inspire and delight their next generation.
My passion really came from just my experience as a kid and wanting to have my kids have those same experiences. It was really cool. Probably, say 3-4 weeks ago, my mom actually came up here to watch one of my sons play sports, and she brought one of my jerseys from when I was a kid, and she kept that. And the memories just flooded back. And I'm thinking, okay, that was 30 years ago. I want my kids to have those same memories. And it doesn't need to be in a travel format. It doesn't need to be in a super expensive, ultra competitive environment. It just needs to be, hey, we got 10 or 12 games, we got 5 practices beforehand. We're gonna build into these kids as much as possible. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna learn some things. And yeah, we hope we win along the way. But the memories that the kids that take with them is not about whether they won or lost last Tuesday. It was the friendships that they made and the experiences that they had. That's what I hope that ultimately goes with them in the future. And so they're learning team building skills, they're learning communication skills, they're learning how to succeed, they're learning how to fail. Because a lot of times when the kid strikes out and they come back to the dugout, it's how can we deal with that challenge? So it's dealing with their emotions, because we work with kids all the way as young as 4, all the way up to almost 16 and older. The range of emotions can be very wide in those ages. And so it's learning to succeed, learning to fail, but also just communicating with each other, being part of a team. Just try to build up some of those basic skills that really they don't get in a school setting. They can really only get that in an athletic setting or in a team atmosphere. My favorite story was from probably 4 years ago, where we had a player on our team that had not hit the ball all year long. And we found out he had some sort of vision impairment. And so he started the season off batting right-handed. Well, his left eye, which is where the ball's coming in, he couldn't see the ball. So we turned him around to the other side. Mom and Dad had no idea, but we turned him around to the other side to use his good eye and try to teach him to swing the other way. And he got a hit and got to actually reach first base. Later on that inning, he got all the way down to third base, and he could not have been more excited to actually be on base. And it really it turned around his attitude. It made him realize that he really could do this. He was not the only one on the team that couldn't hit the ball. The confidence level just went right through the roof. And it is something really special that when he got a hit, and all of our parents and the parents of the other team, because they've seen these kids play all season long, and they see one kid that hasn't hit all year long get a hit, like everyone erupts in clapping and cheering. And there's not much better way of making an 8 or a 10-year-old feel when everyone's cheering them on from the sidelines. I've been a coach of a team where we won almost all of our games. I've also been a coach of a team where we lost almost all of our games. I can tell you though that even those tough seasons where we lost a lot of our games, the growth from day 1 all the way to the end of the season was enormous. And that says, okay, win or lose, we're ultimately doing the right thing and taking care of the kids and giving them the skills that they need.
I think Steuben County has a very, very, very strong sense of belonging. It's a great feeling to know that you belong and that you're accepted. People are so proud they're a part of this community. People don't have to work to make that happen. It's just a part of who they are. And I think when you really love where you are and you have wonderful friends, then that's what brings the pride out.
Everyone is welcome, and it's an energy. There aren't words, it's a feeling.
I feel very connected to this community. These are my people.
It's just a sense of belonging that we have with each other.
We are all called to do something.
This is simply a calling. I am a nurse. Nurses care for communities as well as individuals. Through this clinic, I am able to provide community health as well as individual health. I've spent a great deal of my career caring for people who are at the lowest points in their lives and need some help pulling themselves up a bit. There is always, in every community, an invisible population, a population that people don't usually see or think about. When you have services in your community that help those invisible populations, those populations are then able to pull themselves up, get back into society, and be contributing members. Our little clinic is 100% volunteer workers. This little community supports financially this little clinic with their donations and their time. Where else do you find a small community that takes care of their own the way this community has? I lived in Steuben County when I was a little girl. And my dad had a job where we moved around all the time. So we lived all over Indiana. And I married a young man who went into the Air Force. So we moved around the country. And when we came to the end of his military career, it was where should we go back and call home? We've lived so many places. I said, I will only go back to Indiana if I can go back. Why do you ask these things? If I can go back to Steuben County. So here we are, after about a 50-year absence. This is home. It's just where I'm supposed to be.
This is Steuben County.
This is Steuben County.
This is Steuben County.
And we call it home.
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 You know, I think people, when they love something, they like to give that to other people.
What I love most about living in Steuben County is literally everything.
This place is. It's so very unique, and I enjoy watching people see that gem.
It's a wonderful journey to be on, and it's never-ending delight for what's going on here.
I like where I'm at. My wife will tell you that because she'd like to travel more, and I'm a homebody.
And I think that's one of my favorite things about living in Steuben County is you're always going to have someone that's supporting you, whether that's your family, your friends, or a totally random stranger.
I have always felt embraced. I have always felt people that do want to try to help you.
Our community as a whole, like we're one big family here.
There's a lot of moving parts, but all these pieces are in the right place. And when we get them to fit together, we're going to create something really beautiful.
I'm in Steuben County because of